Any other properties that are sort of at the top of the list that our viewers should be aware of?
Well, the carried interest is a fundamental part of our business plan, and we've done that again and again. So it's nice to have a 30% carried interest in a gold property, and we have a 30% carried interest in a nickel property. So we mentioned McFolds Lake. Noront and White Pine, WPR, are our funding partners in that one. Over there in McFolds Lake, they have to spend $5 million to earn 70% interest, leaving Golden Valley with 30% carried. 30%. And we've done it again recently with West Kirkland Mining near Kirkland Lake, Ontario, Matachewan, Ontario. They're again spending $5 million to earn 70% interest, leaving Golden Valley with a 30% free carry.
So that means that up to production, up until you build a mill and construct the mine.
Until there's cash flow, Golden Valley doesn't have to write a check.
So you don't have to put a penny into it, but you're getting carried that 30%. So if they find 1 million ounces, you've got 300,000 ounces to your credit.
Exactly.
So it's without spending anything.
Exactly.
That's the beauty of the project generator model. That's why a famous investor, Rick Rule, says, Jay, that's the way I make money. I've always been successful, most of the time, more successful at least, with project generator companies than I have with generally with mining companies. So I think that's it's an excellent model, Glenn. And as you know, I've added you to my newsletter recently. I'm going to be telling my listeners on my radio show about our discussion so that they follow up with you. I'd like to ask you, what do you think the biggest risk would be for investors that come in and buy? I mean, we're paying 32 cents a share. But there's always risk inherent, even in a project generator model. What do you think your biggest risk would be?
There are two, and I think they're relevant to every publicly listed company. So they're not, in any sense, unique. First one is commodity prices. That's something that's obviously completely beyond the scope of management's control. Yeah. Gold prices, nickel prices, whatever commodity we're looking at, from diamonds to aluminum, they're all subject to the vagaries of the market. And the second risk is junior companies are always at risk of running out of capital. Managing the capital is management's number one priority and number one task. Mm-hmm. So I think we've done a good job keeping our cash balance in the range of $4 million over the past 4 years, creating opportunities, creating carried interests, creating a multitude of opportunities, not just to keep the balls in the air, but to move the projects forward. But running out of capital is definitely the biggest risk facing any junior company.
Okay. Before we go on, though, I want to ask you have some subsidiary companies. Could you just spend a minute to tell our viewers about those companies? I think there's 3 or 4 of them.
There are 4 right now. And again, this was in an effort to further the development in baskets of properties, all that are somewhat different or disconnected from our central theme, which is grassroots exploration. The Malartic CHL property is probably the best example, the one that Osisko have earned a 70% interest in. We thought that property would do a better job or be better recognized by investors in a dedicated publicly listed vehicle. So we formed a subsidiary called Abitibi Royalties Inc., which will hold that interest, part of which will be dividended to shareholders, and the majority controlled by Golden Valley Mines. And we've done that again with other properties, a nickel property, nickel properties that we have in the Ungava region of northern Quebec. Golden Valley has formed a company, a subsidiary called Nunavik Nickel Mines, which will own, it's contemplated anyway, about 61% of the shares of that company. The rest would be dividended to shareholders. And then we've done that again with a uranium property, partly controlled by Lexam, which is Robert McEwen's company, and another uranium property that Golden Valley owns in Saskatchewan. We thought it would be easier to raise additional funds and therefore to do a better job advancing the work in wholly owned or at least controlled subsidiaries. So Uranium Valley Mines, Nunavik Nickel Mines, Abitibi Royalties Inc., and another one working exclusively in the Republic of Sierra Leone in Africa called Calone Mining.
Okay, well that's, you certainly have an awful lot of things going on, and I think that it should be pointed out again that those are dividends that are yet to come, so people who would buy your shares now could look forward to that little icing on the cake.
Subject to shareholder approval and exchange approval, and that's why we use language like it is contemplated that, it is anticipated that.
I know.
But we're certainly optimistic that all of this will transpire. We've been working on it for the better part of a year now.
Glenn, is there anything else that you might think that you would like to say before we conclude our discussion?
I think Golden Valley is worth looking at just because of the prospector model. We're all significant shareholders. We don't ask our shareholders to do anything that we haven't done ourselves with our own capital. Management believe in the process. We protect our share capital in a way that most other companies don't. The carried interest is quite unique. We're focused on grassroots exploration. We talk the talk, walk the walk.
I'm really glad that you pointed that out, Glenn, the notion that the insiders, the management owns, you have skin in the game. You have a lot of shares, you and the other board members. Could you give us just a sense of what the insiders own in terms of percentage?
It's in the range of 7 to 8% direct.
Sure.
And that's after having raised, since listing in the year 2000, in the range of $18 million.
Sure,
so
sure.
management still own and still participate in all of the financings.
Okay, well, I think that's very important to note that, because if your interests are aligned with the shareholders, shareholders need to be aware of that. If that's not the case, and many times it's not, shareholders need to be aware of that. I want to thank you, Glenn, very much. I think this is a very interesting company. It's certainly one that I'm going to be watching very carefully, and I have to say that 30% carried interest in that Osisko project is really very, very exciting, I think. So.
Thank
And I
you
know
very
you've
much,
got
Jay.
a lot more to come, because you've got a lot of projects, and you know, the more you have, you're going to have one or two here and there that are going to be outstanding. So thank you very much. It's really a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you very much, Jay.
Look forward to
Enjoy
following
your
up
stay
with
in
you.
Val d'Or.
Will do. Thank you very
Thanks.
much.